Hi, today we will see the motivation. The motivation is the set of the forces that causes the people to choose the certain behaviors from among the many alternatives open to them. A motive is an impulse that causes a person to act. The motivation is an internal process that makes a person move towards a goal. Motivation, like intelligence, can't directly observed. Instead of motivation can only inferred by nothing a person behavior. The motivation is defined as the incentive that is given for the inspiration to accomplish something. Motivation can persuade someone to think the certain way to drive that moves them to do certain thing. Motivation is an effective instrument in the hands of the management, inspiring the workforce. The motivation increase the willingness of the workers to work, thus increasing the efficiency and effectiveness of the organization. The motivation is one of the most important factors determining the organizational efficiency. All the organizational facilities will go to waste in absence of motivated the people to utilize these facilities efficiently. Every superior in the organization must motivate the subordinate for the right types of behavior. The performance of human beings in the organization is dependent on the ability in the motivation. The motivation is what drives a person participate in an organization. Motivated person is generally works harder, produces the more, and maintain a better attitude than a person who feels the unmotivated. For instance, a student who feels he has been treated unfairly by a teacher may feel the impulse to skip the class or ignore the homework assignments, while the students who enjoy the class may be excited to go each day and look forward to the projects. When a workforce or a team of participants feel motivated, it may be easier for an organization to reach its goals efficiently. Overall, the basic perspective motivation looks something like this. In other words, you have a certain needs or wants, and this causes you to do certain things which is satisfy those needs, and this can then change which needs wants or primary um, to move one another once. The motivation is important for the individual. The motivation will help him to achieve his personal goals. If an individual is motivated, he will have the job of satisfaction. The motivation will help in self development of individual. An individual would always gain by working with a dynamic team. Similarly, the motivation the important to a business as the more motivated employees are, the more empowered the team is. The more is a team work of the individual employee, the contributions more profitable and successful is the business. During the period of amendments, there will be more adaptability and creativity. The motivation will lead to optimistic, challenging attitude at the workplace. The motives had our life to achieve the desirable goals. The number of motives are responsible for the social life. The motives are classified the categories: primary motives, secondary motives, and general motives. Primary motives are the motives that are absolutely essential for the person satisfy. These are basic needs of an individual that will be applied to the everybody for a motive to be classified in the primary motives category. There are the certain conditions must be met. These conditions or these motives should be psychologically based. The motives need not be learned. These are the basic foremost motivates drive any individual. Examples of the primary motives include the food, shelter, and sleep, sex avoidance, and of the pain, basic safety, etc. The secondary motives, once the primitive motives are satisfied, the individual moves on the secondary motives. The secondary motives include the motives that are more a need in a modern developed society, where the primary motives and basics necessities are on a longer on issue. The secondary motives are once learned and then applied and satisfy the personal needs and wants. The general motives are those motives that neither falls in the primary category and nor in secondary one. They have to be psychologically based, but they must not have to be learned, nor many managers and students pay enough attention to the general motives. The motivation theory, the traditional view approach, the human relation view approach, theory X and Y, then the Maslow needs motivations, and the explanatory theory of the motivation, the equity theory. The traditional view, the people dislike the work, the people will only with work for money, the people not capable of controlling their worker and directing themselves. Simple, repetitive task will be produce the best results. The worker should be closely supervised and tightly controlled. Extra effort must be lead to greater reward. People will meet the standards. They are closely controlled from, but the fare of the supervision will be respected. The human relative view originate the work Mayo, known as the Authon studies. The series of the studies essentially concluded the strongest motivational force behind the most of the employees' behavior at work was preservation in nurturing of social. People want to meet to feel valued and important. People is recognition for their work. People want to control the assembly. People want managers discuss they make for the staff, and they must be take any objections on board. They must be encourage the self regulations on the routine task. In 1960, the X and Y theory or the suggesting the human behavior at work, on other words, two different views of the individual employees on which is negative called the theory of X. The positive is called theory of Y. The reinforcement theory of the motivation. The reinforcement theory of motivation was proposed by Skinner his associates. It states that the individual behavior functions of the consequences, law and effect. The individual behavior with positive consequences tend to be repeated, but individual behavior with negative consequences tend not be repeated. Reinforcement theory of motivation overlooks internal state of the individual. The inner feelings drives the individual. Ignore the Skinner. Thus, according to the Skinner, External environment of the organization must be designed effectively to positively motivate the employee. This theory strong tool analyzing the controlling the mechanisms of individual behavior. However, it does not focus the causes of the individual behavior, the operant conditioning, the positive reinforcement, the strengthening of behavior, getting the clodies of the consequences behavior, negative reinforcement, strengthening the behavior. This is the process of having the stressor taken away as the consequences as a behavior, punishment, weakening a behavior. This is the process of getting punishment as the consequences of behavior. The examples having the your p docked and lateness. Implication of reinforcement theory. The reinforcement theory explains in detail how an individual learns the behavior. The manager who are making the attempt of the motivate the employees must be ensured that do not reward all the employees simultaneously. They must be tell the employees they are not doing the correct. They must tell the employees how they can achieve the positive reinforcement. The existent needs, this includes the need for the basic material necessities in a short includes an individual psychological and physical safety needs, relatedness of the needs. This includes the aspiration of the individuals have for the maintaining the significant interpersonal relationships, getting the public Maslow's social needs, the external component of esteem needs for all under the is class of needs. Growth needs, these include the need for self-development and personal growth and advancement. The need of the intrinsic component of esteem needs fall under the category of needs. The implications of ERG theory, this is the process of the proposes and that unsatisfied needs the motivate the behavior, and that the lower level needs are satisfied, they become the less important. The higher level of needs through the become more important as they are satisfied. If these needs are met, persons may move down, and they are calls the frustration regression principle. What he means by this term is that already satisfied the lower level of need can be become reactivated and influence behavior when the higher level need cannot be satisfied. As the result of the manager should be provide the opportunities of for workers capitalize the importance of the higher level of needs. The moral can be defined the total satisfaction derived by an individual from his job, his work group, his superior, the organization he works for, and the environment. It is generally relates to the feelings of individual comfort, happiness, and satisfaction. According to the Davies, the moral and mental conditions of group of individual which determines their attitude. In short, moral, the fusion of the employees' attitudes together in their work scenarios, the exhibiting the employees' feeling towards the work, the working terms relations to their employers. The moral includes the employees' in attitudes on the specific reaction of their job. There are the states of the moral. High moral, the organizational commitment and sense of the belongingness in the employees in mind, immediate conflict of the identification and resolutions, healthy and safe environment, and safe work environment, effective communication in the organization, increase in productivity, and greater motivation. Low moral has the following features: the greater grievances and conflict organization, high rate of the employees' absenteeisms and turnover, dissatisfaction with superiors and employers, poor working conditions, employees' frustrations and decrease in productivity, lack of motivation. The types of motivation: achievement motivation. This is the motivation of the person to attain the goals, longing for achievement inherent in every man, but not all the persons look to the achievement as their motivation. They are motivated by a goal. In order to attain that goal, they are willing to go as far as possible. Complexity of the goal is determined by the persons and perceptions. Socialization of the motivation. Some people consider the socialization to be their main motivation for the actions, especially evident in the situation for peer or pressure. Some people are willing to do anything to be treated to an equal within the group of structures. The idea of accepted among the group of the people, motivation for doing the certain things. Incentive motivation. The motivation involves rewards. The people who believe that they will be receive the rewards for doing something are motivated to everything they can reach a certain goal. While the achievement of motivation is focused on the goal itself, the incentive motivation is driven by the fact that the goals will give the people benefits. The incentive motivation is used for the companies through the bonuses and other types of the compensation of additional work. Fear motivation. When the incentive do not work, the people often turn and fear and punishment as the next tools. Fear motivation involves pointing out various consequences if someone does not follow a set of prescribed behavior. This is often seen in the companies as working hand in hand with incentive motivation. The workers are often faced with a reward punishment systems where, wherein they are given the incentives if they accomplished a certain goals, but they are given the punishment when they disobey the certain policies. The change of the motivation. Sometimes the people do the things just to bring about the changes within their intermediate environment. The change of the motivation often cause of true progress. The people just become try to how the things and just the things ways to improve it. The motivational techniques, the financial incentives. The first, the techniques of the motivation is the financial incentives. Money is the indicator of success. Therefore, fulfill the psychological safety and status needs. As a people satisfy their needs by money, the wages, salary, and motivates the employees to perform a better job enlargement. Under this technique, the task assigned to the job increased by adding a smile task, so the scope of the job enlargement high for the motivation for the subordinates. It is also horizontally leading of job enrichment. Under these techniques of the jobs are made challenging the and meaningful by increasing the responsibility and growth opportunity. In such techniques of motivation, planning and control, responsibility or need added to the job, usually with the less supervision and more self-evaluation. It is also called as a vertical leading. Job rotation. It refers to the shifting of an employee from the one job to the another job. Such job is a rotation doesn't mean the hanging of the job in, but only the employees are motivated. But this is help to develop the competency of the several jobs, which helps in development of employees. Participation. Participation refers to the involvement of the employee planning and decision making. It helps the employee to feel um, they are asset, and the organization helps to developing the ideas to solve the problems. Delegations of authority. The delegations of authority is to concerned granting of authority to the subordinates, which helps in developing a feeling of dedication to work in an organization, because it provides the employees high morale to perform any task. The quality of work life, it is relationship between the employees and total working environment of organization. It integrates the employees needs and well-being with improved productivity of higher job satisfaction and great employee involvement. It ensures the higher level satisfaction. The management by the objectives. It is used as a motivation and techniques for self-control of performance. By these techniques, the superior and subordinates set the goals of each individual subordinates responsibilities clearly defined, which helps assure the organization effectively. Behavior of modification. The last technique, motivation, is the behavior of modification. It helps positive motivation to the workers to do the work in the desired behavior in order to modify the behavior. Other motivational techniques: the positive imaginary, then teams building activities, training, enhanced communication, targets, rewards, and incentives. Positive imaginary, the position of the motivational themes and message in the forms of the slogans, goals. The positively empower the team by enabling visualize the successes and the words of the celebrities, industries, professional. They are more likely be able to imagine similar success for themselves, and just the motivating them improve their performance, the team activities, mm, despite the mixed feelings about the uh, team building activities, and the fact that they encourage the people to work together outside of the office environment can be definite advantages. They can encourage the healthy competitions and give the each member of the staff opportunity to be on winning the team, improving the team relationship, then can be result in increase the productivity and morale, and can be lead to much happier, healthier, and working of the environment. In such exercise can be also resolution of pre-existing issues. It is important that all the team of the building exercise are carefully balanced, ensure that do not play more particular strength or weakness. The employees are designed instead of everybody chances of the success. Training, the people can be taught become more motivated by showing the dis, deconstruct the tasks and challenges, and how feel less the intermediate job of the rules, demonstrating to them how to co workplace can be lead directly improve the motivation. Enhanced communications. The communication does not only talking to our team but also listening to them. It is important to ensure that understanding the company objectives and the individual jobs is equally important to show them the importance of feedback to the achievement. The targets and rewards of the incentives. In generally accepted the targets to the work towards the long they are realistic is the one of the most effective ways of improving the performance. Hitting the target improve the moral self-confidence, and but remember those who constantly under achieve will end up the feeling demotivated. The target of achievement can be reward not only the financial incentives but perhaps it offer increase the responsibility, even the promotion. The different peoples are motivated by the different things, so it is important to make sure that you offer the right incentive to the right member of the team. The job satisfaction, the person is feeling the satisfaction of the job who has the motivation to work. It is not the self satisfaction, the happiness or the self containment, but the satisfaction of the job. Job satisfaction is the important from the perspective of maintaining and retaining the appropriate employees within the organization. It is about the fitting the right person, right job, and right culture to keep them satisfied. According to the ELOC, job satisfaction are the pleasurable, or positive emotional state the resulting from the appraisal once a job or experience. The Kritner Nikki described the job satisfaction is an effective emotional response toward the various facts of the one jobs. The definition of the means the job satisfaction is not unitary concept. What managers need to do. The job satisfaction is relationship to dispositional factors and support the notation support the nation that the managers must be concentrate on employing right people for the organization in their maximize possibilities, that employees will be satisfied. The satisfied employees will stay within the company and for the relatively long period, that they must be concentrate on removing the dissatisfiers from the workplace to enable the employees to get on with their own satisfaction in an environment conducive to achieving both their own needs these of the organization. The factors in influencing the job satisfaction. Supervision to the worker. The supervision is the equally a strong contributor of the job satisfaction as well as the job dissatisfaction. Feelings of workers towards his supervisors are usually similar to his feeling towards the company. The role of the supervisor is to focal point for the attitude formation. Bad supervision results in absenteeisms and labor turnover. Good supervision results in higher productions and good industrial relations. Co-workers. The various studies had traced this factor as factor intermediate importance once the associate with the others and frequently being motivated as a factor of in the job satisfaction certainly seems to be reasonable because the people like to be near their friends. Workers derive satisfactions when the co-workers are helpful, friendly, and cooperative. Okay. The studies also show that most of the workers felt satisfied when they are paid more adequately to work performed by them. Relative importance of pay would probably changing the factors in the job satisfactions. Age has also been found have direct relationship level of the job satisfaction of the employees. In some groups, job satisfaction is higher with increase the age. The other groups of the job satisfaction lower, and in other there is no difference at all. Martial status. Martial status has an important role in deciding job satisfaction. Most of the studies have revealed that the married person finds dissatisfaction in a job that then is unmarried um, counterpart reasons stated to be or what wages insufficient and increase the cost of the living education and the children etc. The education studies of the conducted among the various workers revealed that the most of the workers who had not completed the school education showed the higher satisfaction level. However, educated workers felt less satisfied in the job. Working conditions. The result of various studies shows that the working condition is an important factor. Good working atmosphere and pleasant surroundings help surrounding help increasing to production of industry. The work conditions are more important to women workers than the men workers. Measuring the job satisfaction, many organizations face the challenges to accurately measuring the job satisfaction, and the definition and of satisfaction can differ for the various people across an organization. However, most of the organization is realized to the workers level of job satisfaction can impact the job performance. Typically, the five factors can be used to measure the influence of the job satisfaction: pay or total compensation, the work itself, the promotion opportunities, relations with the supervisors, interaction on the work relationship with the co-workers. Tools for measuring the job satisfaction. There are number of the ways of measuring the job satisfaction. The most common way of the measuring the job satisfaction are the single global rating, summation of the score. The single global rating. Under the single global rating, the employees are respond to one question. An example of single question may be considering all the dimensions of the job. How satisfied are you with our job? Highly dissatisfied, no comment, satisfied, highly satisfied. This the rating is based on the above scale. The question of the employee is reflection, the magnitude and measurement of the employees. Then summation of the score. The employee, the attitude towards the various aspects of the job, consider the summation score, the nature of the work, supervision, pay, promotion, opportunities, and relations with the workers, with the important aspects of the job included in rating score. The score is given by the each of these aspects or added to create overall job satisfaction and score of an individual employee. Besides mention the aids. This is the eight another method of measuring the job satisfaction. Under this method, the employees are interviewed personally. The response given by them reveals their satisfaction and dissatisfaction towards their job action tendencies. Under this method, the information is gathered about how the employees were inclined to avoid or joined the certain things relating to the job satisfaction. Critical incidents. This method is based on the two factors of the theory motivation. In this approach, the employer are asked to identify the specific incidents to their job they were particularly satisfied and dissatisfied. The indices the further analysis certain aspects were closely related with a positive and negative attitude. Theories of satisfaction. Dispositional theory. This theory suggests the people have innate that disposition and the cause of them to have the tendency toward the certain level of dissatisfaction regardless of one job. This approach became the notable explanation of the satisfaction in the light of the evidence of the job satisfaction tends to be stable over time across the career and the jobs affect theory. The main premises of the theory is that the satisfaction is determined by the disparity between what one wants in a job and what one has in a job. When a person values particular fact of the job, his satisfaction is more greatly impacted both positively and negatively compared to one who doesn't value that the fact. This theory also states that too much of particular will produce the stronger feeling of dissatisfaction and more worker values that fact. Work adjustment theory. This theory includes the basic conception that the individual seeks to achieve, maintain the correspondence with the environment. While many kinds of the environment, individuals, homes and schools, works, church, individual must be related to achieving the maintaining correspondence with the environment may affect the correspondence with other environment. The reference of group theory. The reference of group theory is to be rise to be taught when the employees compare their inputs and outputs from his jobs to the others, such as his the co-workers and the other industries. One can easily see this uh, prevalent in the field of the educations, as the teachers and administrators often compare the salary benefits between the districts and states. Job enrichment. Then this is job enrichment. This is developed in 1950s. The American psychologist Frederick S. Ebert and job enrichment refers the redesigning of job to allow for the more autonomy to reduce the effects of the monotony. Some of the effects that it attempts the reverse or boredom and lack of the flexibility and employee dissatisfaction. Job enrichment makes a job more meaningful and enjoyable and satisfying. It gives the workers more autonomy for playing and controlling the job. It also gives the workers more and responsibility. Job enrichment gives the workers opportunity for achievement and recognition, advancement and growth, so the workers are motivated to the work order. According to the BT Schindler, job enrichment is a motivational technique which embodies the need of challenging uh, and interesting the work. It suggests that the job should be redesigned and intrinsic satisfaction can be derived from the doing the job. In its best applications, it leads the vertically and enhance the job, adding the functions from the other organizational levels, making the certain more variety of challenging autonomy. They have a greater variety of recursive higher level knowledge and skills, give the workers of the more autonomy and gives the workers of the more responsibility, give the worker opportunity of the personal growth, meaningful and work experience. Job enrichment is thus an important practice in meeting the whole man needs. It represents the new and popular non-monetary motivational techniques. It applies the movement and the improvement of the jobs. It has to be more motivators than before, and at the same time, the maintaining of the degree of maintaining the factors, maintenance factors. Job enrichment allow the employees to control in planning their work, deciding the authority how to complete it. It is one of the desire to do the good job to appropriate their contributions to the company and be as the team member. It has always seeks to adopt the positive ways to address everyone rely on improving the employees' motivation, personal satisfaction. Steps of the job enrichment, job selections, the selecting the job which are mm, amendable to the job enrichment, identifying the changes that may enrich the selected jobs, change in contents of the jobs, changing the contents of the job by forming natural work groups and combining the task and opening feedback channels. This will be done to provide the control of responsibility to achievement advancement. Employee counseling, training, guiding, and encouraging the employees wherever necessary. Job integration, integrating enrich jobs daily routine of the organization. The feature of the job enrichment, nature of the job enrichment is the vertical expansion of the job. The workers in the given job require the higher level of the knowledge and skills and responsibilities. Job enrichment improves the quality of the job. The objective of the job enrichment is to make the job more likely and challenging. So the job is source of the motivation for the workers. Positive results. Job enrichment gives the positive results if the workers are highly skilled. This is the because of the workers are given the opportunity to show the innovative and innovation while doing their jobs. The direction and control. Job enrichment encourages the self-discipline and it does not believe in external direction and control. The direct feedback, there should be the direct feedback of the employee's performance. The employee should be able to get the intermediate knowledge of result they are achieving. The job evaluation can be inbuilt on the job or provided by the supervisor. Scheduling the own work and freedom to schedule one's the own work is contributes to enrichment. Deciding when to tackle the assignment is an example of self-scheduling. The employees who perform the creative work have more opportunity to schedule their assignment as compare the employees performing the routine jobs. The client relationship, when the employees serves the client and the customer directly, he has to enrich the job. Client can be outside the organization or inside. The direct communication authority, an employee holding the enriched job will be allowed to communicate directly with the people who use his output. The personal accountability, and enriched job holds the uh, incumbent responsible for the results. He receives the prize for the good work and blame for the poor work. From the above features of the job enrichment, we conclude then the management should allow sufficient freedom to the employee recording the methods of sequence, pace, etc. of the work. The dimensions of the job enrichment. Job might have all 5 dimensions to be fully enriched. If one dimension is absent, the worker is psychologically deprived and motivations gets reduced. These core dimensions influence the employee's psychological state and that improve the performance, job satisfaction, and quality of the work, reduces the turnover, and absence from the work, their effect on the quality of the work is not trustworthy. The several managerial and non-managerial jobs often do not possess the in some core dimensions. The employees react to these core dimensions definitely. Typical employee finds them to the basic internal motivations, job enrichment, skill variety of the permits the employees to perform the different operations that often require the different skills of the jobs preserved to high in variety or seen by the employees as more challenging because of the range of the skills involved and relieve the monotony and that develops from my respective activity. The variety of the provides the employees greater sense of the competence as they perform the different kinds of work in different ways. The task identity the task identity allows that employees to perform the complete piece of the work. When the task is broadened to produce a whole product, then the task identity has been established. Task significance that involves how much importance is given by the task of the company. The impact can be on others in the work organization as when the work performs to key steps in the work progress. Those the outside of the firm. Task significance denotes that workers should believe they are doing something important of the organization and the society. Autonomy, it includes the degree of freedom, independence and decision making helps in completing the task for each employee. Every people like to be given the responsibility which the motivates the employees. Responsibility helps to speed up the work and the process by enabling the employee to make the decisions, and autonomy is a very important role of the job of the enrichment. Feedback is the represents the type of the information about the job performance is obtained by the employee. It motivates the employee to perform the best as possible. Without a feedback, and employee does not have the way of knowing whether they are doing the things correctly and incorrectly. Positive feedback always the motivate the employees by recognizing the efforts. How to do the job enrichment? Based on the job analysis, whichever the characteristics of the job scored low can be worked upon the based on the below mentions of the job enrichment principles. Low on skill variety, combining the task horizontally, loading the job by giving the more responsibility of the outside position. Low on task identity, forming the nature of the work units, giving the responsibility of the complete the process role rather than the fragment part of the task. Low task significance established in the client relationship, direct contact and interaction with the end user, and ensure the acknowledgement appreciation for the task well done. This will be make an employee feel creating the different and adding the value. Low autonomy, the vertically loading the job by giving more responsibility within the same position. Low on the feedback, opening the feedback channels, feedback sources. Job itself can be such that provide the instant of the feedback on its completion of completion. Example, any form of the sports supervisors is provide timely accurate the feedback and the systems and such quarterly review abrasive systems to ensure the feedback. Techniques of the job enrichment, add new tasks the job, increasing the scope of the job, assign a natural work unit to an employee, allow the employee to set own standards of performance, minimize the minimize the control to provide the freedom of employees, make an employee directly responsible for his performance, provide the feedback of the employees, encourage the participation employees in deciding the organizational goals and policies, introducing new difficult and the creative tasks to the employees, make the personnel understand how the task and contribute the finalized product of the enterprise. Advantages of job enrichment. The job enrichment enriches the role of an individual that encourages the growth and self actualization. The job is designed such a way that encourages the intrinsic motivations, increase the motivations, improve the performance by providing both human and or more productive job. Job enrichment is occurs when the work adds more challenge, achievement, opportunity for a growth, responsibility, and provides the feedback and recognition. Interesting and challenging the job when the certain amount of the power is given by the employee, it makes the job more challenging for them. We can see that the job enrichment is the method of employee empowerment, improve the decision making through the job enrichment. We can improve the decision making, the ability to employee by asking him to decide. The motivation speak of these higher order needs. Example, ego is esteem needs, self actualization is extra. These needs can be achieved through the job enrichment, reduces the workload of the superiors. Job enrichment reduces the workload of the senior staff, and when the decisions are taken by the junior and senior, workload is reduced. Disadvantages of the job enrichment. Job enrichment is based on the assumptions that the workers have to complete the knowledge to take the decisions, and they have the right attitude. In reality, this might not be case due to the which there can be the problems in working. Job enrichment has the negative implications in along with easel work decision making. Work is also given the employees, and not many may be comfortable with this. The superiors may feel that the power is being away from them and given the juniors. This might be led to ego problems. This method will only work in certain situations. Some jobs is already give a lot of freedoms and responsibility of the job. Some people is dissatisfied with the organization. For such peoples, of the amount of the job enrichment can solve the problems. Leadership. Leadership is defined as the personal quality of an individual that influences the behavior of followers. It is an important function of management. The leadership act and influencing of the people so that the followers follow the path of the leaders. The useful leaders must be stimulate the inspire followers achieve the organizational goals. In an organization, the manager is a leader and other subordinates are the followers. The managers cannot be managers effectively unless he can lead the subordinates effectively. Leaders may or may not be the manager, but a successful manager must leader. The leadership is a potential influence of the behavior of others. It is also defined as the influence a group towards the realization of goal. The leaders are required to develop the future visions and to motivate the organizational members with achieve versions. According to the Keith Davis, the leadership is the ability to persuade the others seek defined objective enthusiastically. It is the human factor which binds a group together, motivates it towards a goal. The characteristics of the leadership, the interpersonal process which the manager is into influencing and guiding the worker toward the attainment of goal. It denotes the few qualities to be present in a person, which is included the intelligent maturity and maturity and personality. It is the group of the process. It involves two or more people interacting with each other. The leader is involved in shaping of molding and behavior of the group toward the accomplishment of organizational goals. The leadership is the situation bound. There is no best style of leadership. It all depends on the tackle with the situations. Reliability being counted onto the organize, the direct and create on a daily basis integral to a leader training, understanding the basics, supporting the people, history, current situation and the opportunities, improve the good leaders, the loyalty, the source of the good people, following the others, authority is the essential core of the values and guiding the principles, the sureness in today, the business environment, the ability to lead managers in the firms has to come from the personal strength and commitment, the adaptability. Change can be come from every directions and shifting gears and making the adjustments or incredibly amount the aspects of the growth enthusiasms beginning with positive attitude and sincerity just to make a sense in the countless challenges organization face every day. Energy and motivation are very important. The importance of leadership, the leadership is an function of the management which helps to maximize the efficiently and achieve the international goals. The following points must be importance of the leadership: initiative, actions. The leader is the person who starts the work, communicating the policies and the plan to the subordinates from the work actually starts. Motivation, a leader proves to be playing the incentive role on the concern working. He motivates the employees with economic and non-economic rewards and thereby working from the subordinates, providing the guidance. A leader has to not only the supervise but also play the guiding role for the subordinates. The have to perform their work efficiently and effectively, creating the confidence. The confidence is an important factor which can be achieved through the expressing the work and efforts to subordinates, explaining them clearly their role and giving them the guidelines to achieve the goals effectively. It is also important to hear the employees with regards to their complaints and problems. Building morale. The morale denotes the willing the cooperations of the employees towards their work and getting them into the confidence and winning their trust. Leader can be morale booster by achieving the full cooperations so that they perform the best of their abilities as they work to achieve goals. Builds the work environment. The management is getting the things done from the people, and efficient work of the environment helps in sound and stable growth. Therefore, the human relations should kept into mind by the leader, should have the personal contacts with the employees, should listen their problems to solve them. Coordination can be achieved the reconciling the person's interest with the organization goal. Synchronizations can be achieved through the proper effective coordination, which should be primary motive of a leader. Thank you. We'll see in the next.